Welcome, everybody, to Next Gen Leadership Live. I'm your host, Jimmy Ryan, and today we welcome Craig Davis, and we are sharing the screen. My goodness, we have everybody on. We got Sasha, we got Gino. What's up, guys? Say what's up.
What's happening, people?
What's happening?
Rocking and rolling with my friends here. I love seeing you guys early in the morning.
We are rocking and rolling. So it is back to school, back to work. That was our show last week. And we started to talk about 2025 starts right now. And it really does. The people that you're calling today, they're going to be closing in a couple months, and you're going to be getting that paycheck next year. This is 2025. It starts right now. So we brought on Craig, who is an expert, and I'm going to let Gino talk about Craig, but we're going to talk about business planning, not just for ourselves. Because look, we're all leaders. We do business planning. Like we were talking about, like, dude, I look forward to this. You know, this is like something I get up for. But most people aren't that way. So how are we leading people to set a business plan, to set their goals correctly, and to start planning for 2025? Gino, give a better intro for Craig.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just want to tell you guys what my personal experience is. So Craig was my boss, but most importantly, he's my friend. And Craig is a great guide, or we call him our Sherpa. He's our momentum builder Sherpa because he can help you get from where you are to where you want to be. And the reality of the matter is it doesn't happen in a straight line. You will encounter challenges. There will be obstacles that you have to get around. And if you don't have someone in your life, in your corner, that understands where you're trying to go and tells you how to jump over that rock, that stone, that tree that fell in your way, then you'll never get there. And so for our first guest that's outside of the little inner circle here, we started to expand the leadership group, and I couldn't think of a better leader than Craig Davis.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you. I got goosebumps. I love that. I love you guys, and Gino, Sasha, Jimmy. I love this, right? Like I'm always jumping out of my skin. I love this content. This is why I do what I do. This is why I got into executive coaching, and I'm passionate about leadership. And Jimmy, like, you're spot on, man. I mean, okay, so let me ask you this, and I want to ask the audience this question. How many times in your career have you said, I wish I did that a month ago?
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Or 3 months ago.
A week ago, a year ago, all few months.
Put the month in quotation marks.
The best one I like is I say, when do you think was the best time to buy real estate? I'm like 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah. Or, it's like, in the moment, it's too expensive. And then a year, 2 years later, I wish I bought it then. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, the whole point is, and Jimmy, to your point, right now is that month ago or 3 or whatever. I'm going to put in quotation marks, time frame. So, and by the way, in my opinion, this is the biggest opportunity in mortgage history. And there's 3 huge opportunities, and they're all colliding at once. And that's what's making right now, today, yesterday, the biggest. And we can go down these paths, but I think we want to talk more about how can we position ourselves to maximize on these opportunities. But the 3 opportunities, I'm pushing this really hard with my clients. Number 1, it's not the NAR settlement, it's the NAR opportunities. That is the biggest window to go from referral business, which we've always been taught, and that's what got us here. But that's not necessarily what's going to get you there. So we got to go from referral business to partnership business. And I don't mean MSAs or any of that crap. That's number 1. Number 2, past client database. Yeah, rates are lowering. We have refis on the horizon. Refis are just a result of being able to lead and manage our past client database. That is monumental. And we certainly have an expert on the call about that, Jimmy. And we have to use our CRMs and how we manage our database. And it's not just about email marketing, right? So there's strategies that I'm leading on that. Number 3, growth and recruiting. Because the window is going to close as people get busier, as rates lower, and they're taking advantage of NAR opportunities. So we have this open window right now. And there is a clear delineation of companies, organizations, branches, and originators who are either playing defense or playing offense. And I am noticing that more and more and more. My clients are playing offense. And I've talked to clients and they're just playing defense, and you're not for me and I'm not for you. And I'm seeing that more and more. And that just means opportunity. So if you are someone who's playing offense, you might be with a company who's playing defense, and you might want to realign with offense. And that's a recruiting strategy. So 3 huge opportunities. They're all colliding now, and that window will close over time because all 3 of these is going to find equilibrium and competition will respond. So I'll kind of leave it at that because that is a mouthful. And now I want to talk about, how we position for that as well. But what are you guys' thoughts?
That's a perfect lead in though, right? So like those are the opportunities. That's the landscape. But then what's the magic sauce for putting a plan in place to capitalize on it?
Yeah. Okay. So business plans, right? So let me frame this up, right? Like we've all said, I think we all can acknowledge there's been a shift in business, right? There's a shift in the mortgage industry. Look, there's a shift in society. There's just a shift. I think the thing comes up every now and then. It'll say make shift happen, by the way. Maybe business plans was the old way. Maybe that's not the new way. Here's the thing. Business plans don't work. Let me give you an example. How many times have you guys written a business plan to satisfy your boss because it's December and says, everyone turn in your business plans? And that was the last time you ever looked at that business plan.
Guilty as charged.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, with the half hand up like that, like.
And I can also
I think I know the answer.
And as a leader, and Gino, you were part of my team, right? Like we would do business plans. Okay, everyone do business plan. Now I would take it one step further and say, okay, now everybody, we're going to present our business plans to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was it. So I was also
Greg, I do want to say though, that was helpful. So
Yes.
let's not throw it. Was it baby out with
Maybe
the
out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
Because some people don't do it at all.
Let's not throw it away completely. It's the first. It could be the first step.
Yeah.
In a good direction. All a business plan really means is like, hey, what are you doing differently next? That's really kind of what it is, right? If you want different results, you have to have different actions.
Yeah.
So what is it that you're trying to achieve? And then how are you going to get there? Is that fair, Craig?
Oh, 100%. And actually, and I think you make a good point too. Like, what do we want to do differently? And sometimes the answer is, we got to do things differently. And sometimes it's not. We just got to lean further into what we're doing, right? And again, all that can be signified on a business plan. But my point is the archaic nature of a business plan being this one and done event, because that's human condition. And even like goal setting, right? Like, of course we need goals. I'm not saying we don't need goals, but the action of how, like, okay, create a goal, then what happened? Like the horizon's always moving. So we're not satisfied. And so again, okay, forget all this shit.
Okay, so Craig, using a word out of your playbook, what's the shift that has to happen in order for us to actually be organic and actually execute on something rather than leaving a tool in a toolbox that we spent a lot of money on, spent a lot of time on, but never use?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So the way that I've reframed it, and I've done this for myself, this isn't philosophy, this is practicality. And this is how I lead it with my originators or branch managers, CEO clients and whatnot. Instead, we look at it like a business architecture. Let's just architect your business. Think about building a house. So the first question is, okay, we need clarity. So what are your key business pillars, your verticals, right? Could be marketing, prospecting, sales, financial strength and profitability, social media, whatever. Hey, but what are your verticals that stands your business up and moves it forward? And I look at it like that because we have to have clarity in what these are so we can see them. That way we can dive into each one of them.
I was in construction my whole life, Craig. So I can't stop seeing this as a matter of construction. And so what just hit me, even though we've talked about this multiple times, is if you just do the business plan, all you did was make the drawing. You just made the drawing. You didn't break ground. You never broke ground. All you did was make the drawing. So then how do you break ground and actually start building that thing?
I love it. That's perfect. That's so true. and here's the other thing. And the reason why, now we've all heard of verticals, but so I did this because here's me. I'm busy. I'm overwhelmed. I'm not getting the results I want. Where do I start? Who can help me? I have to do this. I have to do, that feeling where like you're so overwhelmed, you can't even send that email.
Yeah, you're kind of instigating it right now. I mean, I don't like it, so fix it.
So let me go back into clarity.
You're triggering me.
Right. My PTSD is strong.
I know, but that's why we.
Everybody's cortisol level just went up.
I know. All right, let's bring it back down.
Bring me some dopamine.
Now we need oxygen. So we get oxygen through clarity. So okay, now What are my verticals? Are my key business pillars, right? So that's standing our business up so we can move it forward. And now, by the way, some of these are evergreen. We always need marketing. Some of these are, look, I got to stand up this new initiative. Maybe it's a technology rollout. We're going to roll out Shape as our new CRM, whatever the case is. So sometimes, right? Evergreen, one-time heavy lift. Great. So that's vertical. Then we go horizontal. So here's the biggest thing. So a huge thing for me, this is one of my core values, agility. And so we want to create agile leadership. And again, leadership is a behavior, not a title. And I believe everybody's a leader despite that title. At least you can be. And the elite originators are leaders. They're leading their referral partners. They're leading their clients. They're leading their team. They're leading their business. They are not just reacting to it. So we got to create agile leadership. And so when I say agility, picture, I was doing this the other day for a client. I'm like, agility, right? Wide stance, right? I got to be kind of down here. I got to be able to like do this, right?
This is baseball, softball.
A little bit of football, right? So we got it.
Get a field.
Yeah, we've got it. We have to have a good low center of gravity, and we've got to be able to go horizontal. My point is, if I've got multiple verticals, I've got to go over those verticals and dive in where necessary. And as a leader, and again, I don't care about your title. If you're an originator, branch manager, you're not always 100% into every vertical. You might be 10% here, 30% here, 20% there, but you've got to be agile across them and be able to do that. So how do we do that?
Craig, I got to interrupt. I got just because
I know I saw you perking up. That's why I was trying to pause there.
Because in that thought, I want everybody to understand you may not be the CEO of your company, but you are the CEO of your life and yourself.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay. And so you have to take control of that, take responsibility of that. Do not be anybody's victim. And whatever happens to you is because you created it some way, somehow, with good decisions and bad decisions. Where you stand today is the accumulation of every decision you've ever made. And if you don't like where you are today, then do something about it and change it, because only you have the control to do it.
I love it. Well, and that's perfect, because I mean, that's a common, be the CEO of your business. Like when people ask me, like, what do I do? I said, well, this is the easy way to sum it up. Like, you're in your business. My job is to be on your business. And this is an example of, let's build the architecture so we know how to be on your business. And that's my job. I help you do that heavy lift. Right. So
I think, Craig, you have a distinct advantage because in your position that you had at all the companies that you've been, and you rode up the quote unquote corporate ladder. You were able to see so many people either succeed or fail at different initiatives. And it's sad, but the percentage of people that actually win is very small. And there's one common trait, in my opinion, that everybody who's successful has, and that's that your EQ is equal to or higher than your IQ.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be good with people. That's the most important thing. If you're not good with people, if they don't feel that you authentically care about them, you're pretty much out.
But humans are so human-y, do you know?
It does happen.
There
is a human factor.
And the thing is too, is that you might get
Sasha's
what you might we'll picture frame that.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we might actually do a good job of setting our goals and making, putting in the effort, but everybody has like an expiration date, because you have to have that discipline over a long period of time to actually achieve those goals. It's not just about setting the plan and getting started. It's about lasting. And I want to shift into that. How are we getting people to, number one, we gotta set goals. We got to write down, at least be pointed in the right direction. We have to have clarity on that.
Yeah.
But how are we encouraging and leading people to have that type of clarity? What questions are we asking people so that they can focus in and really dial it in?
So that's perfect, right? And so again, as we're building and architecting this house, right? And the design of this is so you are running thematically. So think about that. Your brain is tuned in to, these are the verticals. You know how to dive into each one of them. And again, there's other details I go through to help lead vision, strategy, and execution, how we create the agile leadership, vision, mission, values, all the things. So now our business is architected. So this is designed. So now you have scale, you have growth, and you have the ability of innovation within your business, i.e., okay, what are our goals? And sometimes that goal is one of those business pillars. Okay, I want to increase volume. How are we going to do that? Okay, I got to lever up marketing. I got to do this differently here. I got to do prospecting every single day in my proactive zone. I've got to do this. I got to do that. I got to engage in my CRM. Great. But I have clarity because not the goal itself, as we all know, it's the actions that lead to the goal. And again, why this works is because now it's not so much the start, stop, goal set, goal met or not, start, stop, starts. It's just we're in motion with the right actions. And we have clarity to pivot. We have clarity to innovate, to change, to stand something else up. We don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. And I think that's the challenge. So Gino, to your point earlier, part of the reason why I was able to grow in my career as I did was because I'm very good at like the business of the business. And being agile. And it's originators who are on this call. You have to be agile. You have so many things coming at you. Branch managers, I think you have one of the hardest yet most important jobs in the industry because everything pivots off your plate. You have to lead your team. You might be producing. You have to have a marketing strategy. You have to build and you have to recruit. How distracting is recruiting on your everyday job? You have to navigate the market. You have to manage up within your company if you're, in an IMB and associated with a company. There's so many things that pivot off your desk and it becomes overwhelming, everything we're talking about. So that's why we want to have this clear delineation of how we are architecting our business. And then it's really easy. Okay, as a branch manager, training and support might be critical to the value you provide within your branch. How do I do that? Not to mention all of it does not fall on your shoulders. This is not intended for you to do this by yourself. Part of that agile leadership I'm talking about, and Gino, like we talk about this often, right? Who, not how. Okay. Who's your leaders, managers, and doers? What resources do you have available? What resources do you need? So oftentimes we've created these obstacles. I can't do this. I can't do social media. I don't like video. I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. No. I help you remove all these obstacles. So we have now, in essence, now we have a business plan because it's not a start, stop plan. It's, look, I've built the house. Let's live in the house,
We live in the house every day, right?
We've talked in previous episodes about the importance of what you say yes and what you say no to.
Yeah.
And I think what we're getting at, if I'm trying to scoop the cream off of all the conversation and all the questions, is Jimmy saying, how do we put it in action? Craig saying, take the time, put the right framework in place. Because once you have the right framework in place, you go back to basics, discipline, accountability, taking action every day, right? But ultimately, when new things pop up, whatever it might be, you now have that framework to say, does it fit? Does it not fit? Because if it fits and it's going to help me reach those goals that I set, then it's a yes. If it doesn't, then I can more easily say no versus the constant chaos and noise that's thrown at us. And we're like, I don't even have a framework to digest it and determine, is it good use of my time and energy?
So when we were at Skyline, we did this big exercise with the all the Rockefeller habits and with scaling up and the group that managed that for that group. And we had all these KPIs and everything. And then ultimately, the one thing that we noticed, like mission statement, we spent a lot of time on mission statement. I'm going to be one of those guys that says it's kind of corny. Why do you need one? Right.
Yeah.
But then when I went through that exercise, they explained to me what your mission statement is a test. So when you have something that comes in and you don't know how to react, test it against the mission statement and say, does this help us with our mission? And I think that's what a mission statement does, not just to help as many people as I can. I mean, that's not powerful enough. Or maybe it is. Maybe it is to help as many people as I can. Then you better market the shit out of yourself. So so I just wanted to bring that up because, a lot of people put a lot of weight on that. But if you don't know the why you're putting a lot of weight on that, it's not a marketing function. It's a business test. Yeah. So what you should say no to and what you should say yes to, test it against your mission statement.
I love it.
I want to give you an example, Craig. So let's just say you have a brand new loan officer. They're just starting. They come up to you. You're the manager. I want to do 10 million this year. It's a good number, I would say. I mean, I remember that was one of my very first goals to get to 10 million.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my business plan. I want to do 10 million. So, okay.
Great.
So somebody comes up to you and they say, I want to do 10 million. And maybe they're newer, maybe whatever. They're not as experienced. Maybe they haven't done a business plan and a real one.
Yeah.
What's your comment to that? How do you lead that person?
Well, the first thing is we're going to go specific, not general. We need to figure out, okay, great. Who's your ideal client, right? We're not just trying to get a loan from anybody who'll give me a loan. We're going to understand who our ideal clients are. Cool. What's their problem? What do you mean? No. Like, what's their stress? What's their pain in life? How do you solve that problem? What's their opportunities? What's their excitement associated with that opportunity? How do you provide that opportunity? I'm going to get the mind working a little bit because this does not work. This works. Yeah. And then we create, right? Like, okay, now I'm starting to understand and I'll give you an example. Well, are you going after self-employed investors trying to build a real estate portfolio? Because they might crush you. We need to be able to say no to that. Probably. Maybe not. I don't know. No bad ideas. Who's your referral partner?
Except the ones that are.
Yeah, exactly. Right? You remember.
Craig and I have definitely had plenty of bad ideas on the no bad idea train.
It's one of the funnest exercises.
It is. It's so great. No bad ideas. And then you're like, except that was pretty bad.
Yeah, but that was pretty bad.
That wouldn't work out so well.
We probably got a good idea from it, but we had to learn a few lessons. But anyway, my point being there is the first thing, let's do our ideal client. And now, by the way, our ideal client doesn't just mean borrowers. It also means referral partners.
Yeah.
Who's your ideal referral partner?
And that's where your verticals come in, right, Craig? So it's like if we're talking about individual versus business, now your verticals are those ideal clients, right? To your point, if it's not investor and let's just say it's first-time home buyer, right? That's your ideal client is one. Number two, referral partners. And then what is that? And then maybe there's a third vertical.
Yeah, exactly.
You can apply that same framework regardless if you're an individual contributor or a leader with a team and a business.
Bingo. And again, we don't have to overcomplicate this. This is meant to be simple, right? We just want to be thinking along those lines. And that's what orients our mind to start. We orient our business this way because we have a framework. And to your point, I think Jimmy or Sasha, you said so when something new does come, it's not the worst thing in business is start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. Recruiting is a perfect example for those branch managers listening. I mean, throughout so much of my career, I would get so mad. Recruiting was always start recruiting. And then we get busy and we stopped recruiting. And then we start recruiting and then we get busy and we stop recruiting. You cannot grow effectively that way. Originators. I got loans in the pipeline. Foster we got to hunt and gather. I got to gather those loans. And now I don't have any hunting. It's that 90-day cycle. Well, we don't do that anymore because we have a framework. And when a new opportunity comes our way or a change comes our way, good, bad, doesn't matter. Easy to lever. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just lever up, lever down, change. Doesn't matter. Keep it easy. And then we're always in motion with action. And that's going back to then whatever your goal is, it all stands on top of this,
So one other example that I was just thinking of that I think I'm guilty of this is that, okay, you get somebody that says, I want to do 10 million. Okay, that's one different type of person. But then you get the type of person that says, I want to add 10 new referral partners this year. Yeah. I want to add 5 of them be financial planners. I want to have, I want to get a new CRM. Yep. I want to do lunch and learns. I want to start a podcast. I want to
all of it.
Very detailed, specific, and there is clarity.
Yep.
But I mean, I think I know where you're going, but you have that type of person as well. Oh, what's 100%. Your coaching for those type of people?
I'm going to add one little thing to that, Jimmy, and then Craig, I'm going to have you wrap us up with this.
Please.
So just to give you a seed, Craig, this is so much that what Craig and I have been talking about, the difference between inertia and momentum.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about somebody that's in the inertia stage. They've done the planning. They've got it all set up. They know exactly what they want to achieve. Now what?
Mm-hmm. Well, oftentimes because they're living in the 10,000 foot, we got to go, which is vision. I want to do all the different things. Now we got to go 1,000 foot because that's strategy. What are the strategies to do to feed the vision? And then guess what? We got to go 1 at sea level. Now these are the execution points. These are the action items that feed the strategy that feeds the vision. So we have to spend a little time, because your point, Jimmy, like we want to do all these different things. Great. And we can, but we can't just talk about we want to do these things. We have to actually peel back how we go do these things. And then now we know exactly what our marketing is a great example. I want to widen my audience and go deeper with them for every reason in the world. Okay, cool. Well, social media is a strategy, right? And then execution point might be, I will post Monday, Wednesday, and Friday religiously. And I will do videos on Tuesday and Thursday. And I will create content. And I will do this. And I will do that. So we have to understand how that all integrates with each other. We can't just say, I want to go grow my audience. I want to start doing social media. So now we can, and then it becomes easy. Like my whole purpose in life is to make your life easier, not harder, right? That's why I do the heavy lift on helping you architect your business, and you just go, baby, go.
Craig, you should be a coach.
Someone told me that once.
But for real, the 10,000 feet, yeah, that's the vision. And I think a lot of people stay there.
A lot of people
I'm guilty of it. Guilty. But then, 1,000 feet is strategy and sea level is execution. And I think a lot of people don't even get to that part. You got to get to sea level at some point.
That's
and
right.
Craig, look, we're
at sea level and they never go up, which is another problem. Completely different issue.
Well, 100% right, and they're two different people. But look, we're out of time. We try to keep these about 20 minutes. We're a little bit over. Craig, you're just so good. We want to keep you on again, and I'm sure we will have you back. And I just want to say thank you for joining us. And this has just been jam-packed with a ton of value. Any closing words, Sasha? Like, say one thing, maybe. Oh my
God. Okay. Well, first of all, we have to say, because we know this as a plug, Craig is willing to do free 1 hour session with anyone who's interested. So keep an eye out on the Momentum Builder Facebook page, LinkedIn, and our emails for an ability to sign up for those. So I'm going to give him that plug. And then if I had to choose, like there were so many golden nuggets and I wrote so many down. Clarity. I'm going with clarity. I'm sorry, because it's been a sticking point for me this year on so many things, personally, professionally, of like, when you've got clarity, then you can hit your target. But when you don't have clarity, you're shooting with a blindfold on.
And Gino, shout out to our sponsor there. What's your shirt?
That's right. EA Appraisals. Will's been a great partner of ours, partner of Momentum Builders, and a partner of mine on my team at PRMG. Finding a good appraisal management company is super important. It's super important. It is a pillar of the mortgage business. Without having a great appraisal management company in your stable, it's very hard to predict or to have predictable results. And if you increase stress, you decrease effectiveness. So making sure that you have good partners at every one of these pieces in your business, especially when they're third party, is critical. So
and let's be honest, we like to do business with people that we trust, that are reliable, and that we really like. And Will's just all those things.
I was going to say, Will's just a lot of fun to hang out with too. So there's that.
Yeah.
Likability matters.
Right, yeah. 100%. All right. Well, we're out of time. So thank you everybody for joining us. This has been Next Gen Leadership. Give us a comment. Let us know what you liked. Even if you didn't like something, make a comment. We'd love to get some feedback from you, and we will see you next week.